And welcome back, curling fans, to the 2024 Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. We are located here at the Curl Moncton Curling Club in beautiful Moncton, New Brunswick. Dan Holowaychuk here with Penny Shantz in the broadcast booth. We are going to be bringing you draw number 7. Our featured matchup is in the ladies pool. Nova Scotia with a current 4-0 record against Northern Ontario, who has only played a couple of games. They are at 1-1. And we have a full slate across the board. We will be keeping you up to date with all the scores. We'll be updating you with some information as we go along. And we'll get the scoreboard posted a little bit later in this draw. Looking forward to some good action here, Penny.
Right. Welcome back. Welcome us back, right? The two teams playing today are Northern Ontario and Nova Scotia. Just like to introduce the teams. The skip of Nova Scotia is Teresa Breen. Teresa is listed as skip, but I believe Mary Sue Radford is skipping the team. Carrie Denny is the vice skip. Jane Flynn Burton is the second, and Mary Sue Radford is the lead. The Northern Ontario team, Lori Hoppe is the skip. Vice skip is Shannon Brown. Lisa Penner is the second. And they've got their alternate in, Tracy Stasiak is the lead.
All right, so game underway. And a perfect shot to start this game. Centerline guard up for Northern Ontario. Nova Scotia going out to the wing. Just to let everyone know that we will be updating the other games, but you can also check the scores out, standings, and the last known draw results on curling.ca/scoreboard. We are also streaming games on sheet B and C, and you can pick those up on TSN Plus or go to youtube.com and /Curling Canada.
So on sheet 2 that they're streaming right now, it is BC and Saskatchewan, and sheet 3 is Ontario and Quebec, and I'm not sure that everybody knew that those are being streamed without any commentating. So those are the games that are actually on those sheets. So if you're watching and you've got friends in other provinces that maybe want to watch their teams curl and they're not getting that information, get it out to them. I talked to a few curlers last night, and they had mentioned that they didn't know that.
Yeah, so lots of viewing out there for you. Lots of information. We'll keep things up to date here. On our feature matchup, we did have Nova Scotia pulling out to the wings, and Northern Ontario hit and rolled out. So now we have Mary Sue Radford calling the game, and she's wanting to go to the other side of the ice here and check out the curl on that way.
I find that pretty interesting that they didn't come around that center guard, and we watched Nova Scotia on this sheet prior, and they've got a 4-0 record, you mentioned?
Yes.
But they look like they're starting out this game just keeping it clean, getting a feel for the ice.
You want to do this?
Yeah, and you'll see this. The end will be determined a lot with who hits and stays, who hits and rolls out. If it goes back into the middle by a hit and roll under. So right now, pretty conservative, both teams, first end, getting a good feel for the ice.
Right up, right up, right up.
Right.
Roll it, see if it'll roll. Roll it. Good.
Okay, a little bit of roll to the inside here.
That rock was thrown by Lisa Penner of Northern Ontario. She's been in the game for a while. I've been to a few competitions and met up with Lisa, and it's just great to see her and Tracy Stasiak, both of them back here. They're curling out of the Kenora Curling Club.
So this is Janie Flynn Burton executing the hit and stay.
Nice shot, Lisa.
Just cleaning. Looks like a good nose hit. Coming up a little at the end. It's actually coming up pretty good at the end here. And she's got a nice little roll in behind center.
Roll.
Perfectly behind the center right.
So I did receive a message from one of Jane's fans and advised me that maybe it's not Janie, it's Jane. So we haven't actually talked to Jane about that, and I thought it was Jane, but the way it was put in the
In the bio.
it said Janie. So we apologize, Jane, for calling you Janie.
And I'm still calling her that.
That's right. I kind of like it.
Okay, here comes the attempt from Northern Ontario, trying to come around the center guard and wanting to freeze the Nova Scotia rock that is in the top of the house. This looks like a good one coming in here. Excellent. So now Mary Sue Radford, she's...
I don't mind the peel. Yeah? Yeah. I think so.
They do have the hammer, so that rock out front isn't going to help them.
Yeah, so still staying somewhat aggressive here. Well, they were discussing just hitting it and rolling for a corner guard. She's got fairly tight ice on this one, asking for control weight. Trying to keep this rock around somewhere, I believe.
10-5. Yep. Whoa. Oh dear. Oh no.
I think it's going to come up for them enough that it might just miss those and roll to the other corner. It did tick them, move things around in the forefoot.
And that's not a bad shot. I know she was saying, oh no, but actually it did curl up enough.
Yeah, they didn't try to carve it over at the very end.
No.
And see if they could get that to roll for a little more of a corner guard. So a half guard, Northern Ontario. Going to try to put another one in half around so they can just show a piece of each of them. And in curling terms, we call that Christmas treeing it.
Right.
'Tis the season.
Oh, that's my line.
Sorry. I knew I got it somewhere.
All right. Do you know who invented the Christmas tree? What team it was?
No.
Not who invented. Santa Claus actually invented it, but Colleen Jones' team.
Really?
I think they were the first ones to do the Christmas tree.
Well, it's stuck around because it's being used a lot.
Yep.
Okay, play half, and if you get the front, we'll roll the front on, okay?
Okay, playing this one with some quiet weight, wanting to hold the rings, make contact with the shot rock on the top of the four. And I believe the quiet weight is, in case you tick the guard, you can roll this one on, open everything up, and then that would leave Northern Ontario with a decision to see if they want to continue to guard. But
Hard. Hold it out.
trying to hold this one to get it by the guard.
Whoa. Yeah.
And we got the little bit of a tick, but a little bit too much weight to hit and roll out.
Nova Scotia, when we watched them prior, they were throwing a really nice, controlled 10 and a half weight for their halfway hits, and they got a lot of results out of that.
Yeah, they might have got that one a little bit tight, and we have seen that early in the game. You know, a little frosty, sometimes get close to the center line, you can get some to curl up a little bit more than you would expect, so very release sensitive early. So a little advantage leaning towards Northern Ontario here, having two rocks in the house and guarding. The sweepers are indicating this is coming in the house. It's going to go.
She's almost going to get a Christmas tree on it.
Yeah, almost. But they can see enough to make a double. Very difficult double to stay here because it's just a little piece of the one to get the back one, and she can't see enough of it to hit it on the nose and stay. So
we've got Teresa Breen throwing skips rocks on. Oh, no, we're not into skips yet. Third's last rock.
Whoa. 10-5.
10-5.
okay, control weight hit.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Just trying to get over to the second shot rock and stay on top. It rolled a little bit off,
Good throw.
but
Nice carry.
got the one that was a little bit behind the guard, leaving a wide open hit after this. Northern Ontario electing to hit the one in the 8-foot
And lie three.
and lie three. They could have tried to put the squeeze on and guard their shot rock. Early in the game though, probably a safer shot.
Skip Lori Hoppe coming down the ice. Lori and I have something in common. We have the same birth date, May 23rd. I got a few years on her though.
Okay. So just trying to hit this one, I believe, on the nose, making the double a little bit difficult, and scrape it by her back one without jamming it. Good release. Sweeper's just cleaning.
Right up. Yep.
Just trying to get it to curl up a little bit. She's got some quarter weight. This is coming up nicely. She's got a nice nose hit, a little bit of roll to the middle. And two rocks side by side once again. Another tough double.
Try to hit this one, right? And actually, if you could roll
under it.
yeah.
Okay.
Just carry whatever. You think carry through 10 and a half here? This is kind of what it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. 10-5.
Okay, so Nova Scotia electing to come in and hit the one on the center line, roll this way, and it will kiss this one out that way. Depending on how much of it she hits and how hard, she may be able to get that one out. But the priority here is for her to hit and roll underneath that red guard.
Yeah. We'll try and roll under.
Control weight, in turn hit for Teresa.
10-5.
Close.
10-5, they're communicating the weight that she wanted.
Down a little.
This'll move.
Whoa.
We've seen it move near the center line.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning,
Whoa.
yeah, they got to stay close, make sure they don't lose it.
Oh.
She's got a little bit of a roll.
Good shot.
Just a
Teresa.
little more of a
She
roll.
managed to get the double in the back of the house.
Almost.
Okay. Didn't come a lot.
Could have actually maybe carved that a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't.
Come
They
a
didn't.
little bit more.
They didn't try to. It didn't need much more. She did get a little bit of roll already, and it's pretty much edge on edge, so she should be able to see almost all this rock.
So Lori's going to be sitting pretty good if she
Same weight. I don't
just
know what it'll do when it
hits
gets
and
too
sticks
long.
right there.
Yeah, making a very difficult double, and Teresa won't have much room to roll on the open hit that she plays, because both rocks will be basically around the 4 foot. So control weight, in-turn hit for Lori. Hit and stay, looking for the nose.
Lisa.
She's going to try to curl this one over early. It's running down the center line a little. Here comes the movement.
Even a little
Yeah,
roll right in front of
Yeah.
that other rock would be perfect.
and she's got that.
Okay,
Yeah,
great shot.
you know what? And that one in the back now leaves her a double, a nose hit double here for a deuce. So
Two.
a
Yeah.
very late development for a 2 in this end if
So should I?
Teresa can execute.
How about that?
Yeah. That's good.
And they're sticking with the turn that they just threw. I'm thinking this will come just with a little bit more weight. They've tightened the ice up a little.
Final shot for
Alright, 10.
Nova Scotia, Teresa
Right on the
Breen.
nose.
So nose hit for 2 in the first end. Last rock from Teresa Breen.
No.
Whoa, no.
Way to put it out just a bit.
Oh, they're calling
Curl, Carrie.
10, so she didn't overthrow this. Got to make it move.
Curl.
Keep going.
Curl.
It's coming up pretty hard. She got a piece of it, and they're sweeping to try to get it out of the 8 foot, and they're not going to be able to. So a steal of 1 in the first end for Northern Ontario. Yeah, close call by Teresa. Just a little bit off on that one.
Yep, just might have put it out just a bit.
Just a bit, didn't get the finish. So we'll come back with second end action in a bit.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
And welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships at the Curl Moncton Club. Our feature matchup is the ladies Nova Scotia, Northern Ontario. And in our first end, we had Northern Ontario steal a point. And starting in the second end, they did throw up a guard, but it didn't stay on the center line. And Nova Scotia has come around that one. And so we're into the second stone of lead rocks.
Tracy
Stasiak. Yep.
Lots of room. Wait only.
This is out there a little ways, but
Bring it in.
as we've seen, we've got some good finish earlier.
Yep. Far as it'll go. There you go. Far as it'll go. Go, 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 go. Shannon.
That's nice curl. As a curler.
Right in, right in, right in.
We're bumping.
So just a little heavy and rolled off of it.
Like
Tapped
that?
out red behind the guard.
10-5.
Yep.
Teresa Breen is going to get Mary Sue Radford to hit this and split the house up.
10-5, maybe 11.
So there's 14
Yep.
ladies teams and 14 men's teams. And the way it works is they're split into two pools.
You know, just wait till I'm
Each
done.
pool has 7
Yep,
teams.
yep. All
You
the way,
play a
Mary.
round robin in your pool.
Good.
And the top 4 in that round robin in each pool go on to a championship round.
Right, and the ties are decided by the last stone draw if needed. So every team will throw 2 rocks prior to the start of the game. They'll keep track of all those numbers. And if they need, they will use them for positioning of the teams moving into the championship round.
They also use that last stone draw to determine who gets last rock in the first end, the hammer.
Right, and so you can see those numbers and track them online yourself if you really want to find out if we do have some ties in the standings. We'll be posting the standings up there a little later in our draw. And yeah, once you get to the championship pool, you will play the teams that you haven't played yet from the other pool.
Right.
And the top 4, after that's completed, will move on to the medal rounds.
Right.
And 1 will play 4, and 2 will play 3. The winners will move on to the gold and silver game. The 2 losers will play for the bronze medal.
10-5.
And the winner will go to the Worlds in neighboring
Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Right. So that's what they're playing for here. Everybody wants to get the maple leaf on their back. Back to our feature game. We've got a few rocks in play now. Still have the first original center guard. The red Nova Scotia stone is buried completely behind it.
Close.
And we have a hit attempt and roll under.
We're going to big roll.
Mary Sue.
Oh, that's good. Good throw.
Yep, she's got the hit and roll. Exposed a little bit on the outside.
So on those championship games, the men's medal game will be at 12:30 on Saturday, and the women's medal game will commence right after at 3:30. Sometimes they play them together, but this year they've split it out.
Yeah, so we will have the one game at 12:30 and the other one followed at 3:30.
That's Atlantic time.
Gold medals.
It's Saturday.
Yes, Northern Ontario. Trying to come down, hit this one on the nose. It is edge on edge. They got to get tight to the guard, and I think they're going to have to go really hard to get it by that top one. They just rub it. But quiet weight. It still rolls through the house. Mary Sue's completing that with the sweep.
That
So-
rock was thrown by Lisa Penner. She's been to 6 senior nationals, so she's got a lot of experience at this level as well.
Yeah, I think both these teams
12 foot?
have a lot of players that have been here before, and I think they're all still looking for their first championship here.
That's right.
I believe there was only one ladies curler that has won this seniors championship.
And who was that? Do you remember?
That was my trivia question.
Oh,
Nice throw.
See if any of our viewers following that.
Line's nice.
That's one for you. We'll get you the answer
Just
in a little bit. We'll let you think about that one for now.
You guys. Have
You
a
can look
look.
through the rosters of the teams if you want to go to the website. And if you also want to go, there's a curling.ca/tickets if you want to get in on any of the events that are upcoming. We have a pretty full slate coming up here. The first one is the Canadian Mixed Doubles Olympic Trials, December 30th to January 4th in Liverpool, Nova Scotia. And the same folks at IKS Media that are doing our event here, and they're doing a bang-up job. We'll be looking after that. Followed by the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, February 14th to 23 in Thunder Bay. The Montana Briar.
Kelowna.
Yeah, presented by AGI, February 28th to March 9th. The BKT Tire World Men's Junior Championship is March 29th to April 6th in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. And after the golf season is over, the Canadian Curling Trials, November 22nd to 30th, back out here in the Maritimes, Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Right, so things are happening in the house here. Nova Scotia has an opportunity here to be lying 4. Northern Ontario just peeled off the guard. They were a little bit tight, peeled off the guard, and it gives Nova Scotia an opportunity to put a rock on the other side of the house and be lying 4 with the hammer.
Yeah, and 2 of those red rocks are frozen, touching one anywhere. I don't know if the lineup is good enough to get that back one. If they can throw it hard enough, and they may get some drag to make a double on it. There's a slight little stagger that way. So Mary Sue Radford trying to even up the top 2 here to eliminate any doubles.
It's got the curls.
So it's coming in a little bit deeper.
Real nice. Good judge, you
I
guys.
think we're going to see
This side, Teresa.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Northern Ontario. Lori Hoppe. Get rid of a few red ones. Maybe stay frozen on the top of this one with a nose hit.
Shannon Brown III and Lori Hoppe are cousins, so it's kind of nice that they get to throw together.
She's firing one down here. It's staying pretty straight.
Right up.
Some hard sweeping on it.
She's going to get 1,
Yeah,
not
and
2. There she got a double.
Got it, and she's sweeping the other roll. And it just spins out of the back of the ring, so good shot there. Gets rid of 2, sitting in the middle.
The nose hits here is fine.
Okay.
And Mary Sue is just, she's going to be just trying to
Hit and stick right here.
stick around, first priority, and then try to make the most difficult double that you can leave.
Clean.
Maybe 9.5, so through a little more weight.
Yep.
And it's running pretty straight down the 4-foot line.
Just clean, clean.
Looking like we have nose hit
Very
there.
nice.
Nice
So
throw.
clears off the rocks in the very back. No more trip hazards. Few double opportunities here.
A little bit of trouble, but if they can get the double here, it'll look a little better.
So, yep, Lori and Shannon are going to get on the same page here.
Can they? Is there a triple there?
There is a triple there.
Right.
So
How's that looking?
we'll see how hard she can throw this. These rocks are fairly lively. Yeah, so she's going to try to come in. Oh, let's move the camera. So she's going to come and get that one into this one, into this rock, and out. It's not an easy triple. This one here might jam to get this double, and if you're going after that one, you might not have enough to move the other one out. So difficult shot here. Probably going to be throwing this fairly hard. She does have little bit of ice on this one.
She does.
We have seen these up-weight shots move fairly straight, so she's looking to get a little bit of movement on this one with some weight.
Priority is to hit a rock first. Don't want to overthrow it.
She's throwing this pretty firm. And it is moving for her, so yep. That curled up pretty good for a pretty hard, firm shot.
Okay, so now Nova Scotia is sitting 2 in the house, so they have to make a decision. Are we going to hit that one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Or do we just draw to the open side? Split the house around?
10.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They like that.
there is still a double left, so you know if you're trying to split the rings and you don't make it, you leave the double opportunity, and then that would leave Northern Ontario with a couple. They did just play this shot.
All right, 10.
The nose hit on this one here, and you know that would pretty much eliminate a triple, but leaving Northern Ontario with a double opportunity and maybe just cut them down to do so. First things first, Teresa with an out-turn hit, looking for the nose. Got the landing gear down.
Clean, just clean.
Yep.
Yep, yes, yes.
And
Yep.
we're sweeping to hold this straight.
Very hard all the way.
Nicely down the 4-foot line. We got a good sweep. Good job on sweep. We are going to get some roll. It does get by the red on the tee line. So they are sitting 3.
Curled a little bit. We haven't seen much curl like that out in that outside the 4-foot line on hits.
And not coming in, yeah. Going out the other way it will, but usually runs pretty straight there. So
We were fooled by it a little bit too.
Okay, we'll see if we can get a double out of it. Got to get rid of one at least.
Yeah.
oh, we just had the boss join us up here in the booth, giving us some big pointers.
It's Randy Furby and Everest.
So looking for the double. One is very skinny. The other one is about 1/3 of a rock. She can throw it fairly hard and accurate. You got to try to hold this one out. Got to hold it out. It's curling up. She's going to get enough to get that one. Might have to sweep under the corner. It's still spinning, and it's over the red line, or out of the boards, as we would say. But there are no boards here. She did hold the shooter, but in second shot position. So Teresa will have a draw to the button opportunity. Anywhere basically full 12 will give her her deuce.
15? Yeah.
So there was a lot of red rocks in there for a while, and you know they did get their deuce. So I'm not sure which team would be happier. Northern Ontario was looking at 4 rocks, or Nova Scotia getting their deuce.
I think they're okay with giving up 2 at this point.
T-line.
Yeah, and this one's not in the books yet, but we did see Teresa earlier in one of our other draws, and she was pretty steady. So
T-line.
Whoa.
sweepers are saying T-line.
14-9.
And you just heard Mary Sue indicate that that was a 14-9, so we don't have to tell you how quick the ice is there.
Excellent draw for their 2 points.
Right on the Everest button for a deuce. So that's 2 points for Nova Scotia with the hammer in the second end, now leading 2-1 over Northern Ontario. And we'll be right back.
You make moments like these possible.
From cash spiels to grand slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
And welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships. We're at Curl Moncton Curling Club in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature match is a ladies' game between Nova Scotia and Northern Ontario. We have Nova Scotia leading 2-1. Northern Ontario having the hammer. And the start of this end has a center guard.
We got lots of
with Nova Scotia putting that up and now trying to come around.
And both teams aren't afraid of putting up that center guard with their first shot.
We're heavy and we're wide.
Yeah, that's...
Sit.
Nova Scotia is up in the game. A lot of times when you're up, you put the first one in the house.
Nice weight.
But I think they're confident with their draw weight, so they don't mind mixing it up in the forefoot.
Bad combination on that last shot. She mentioned that the rock was heavy and wide. Bad combo.
Yeah,
but it did stop in the house at the back, so it wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and you know, with Lori here, she's elected to come in and freeze the one that is open. She could have tried to just draw around to the top four with the guard up there.
We have seen this spot. If you have the perfect weight, you can get the perfect shot. Otherwise, but if you're a little light, it'll take off on you and
I think
roll in there.
That's what they found there. And there's our tick rule coming into effect. So that rock was on the center line, and there's still only 4 rocks in play, so up until 5 rocks, you cannot remove it if it's the opposing team's rock on the center line. So they put that back.
And Tracy might have just had a little bit of a soft handle on her shot as well, I noticed.
Yeah, and so that's, you know, that's a big difference here, because now, you know, you could have had one coming around in the top 4, and now Nova Scotia can really put some more pressure on here. The guard goes back to the center. She can come right around this one. They're wanting top 4.
8 foot.
This is hanging out there, but we'll see it finish pretty good.
4.
Jane throws left-handed as well, so her rock might react a little bit different than the other people throwing right-handed down this spot.
Yeah, get a little more finish. It finished up good.
It's a great shot. Maybe didn't.
So almost fully exposed, enough for the double.
I can see it.
She can hit the front guard now if she ticks it off, so they won't have to replace it back.
Yeah, they're wanting to get the ones in the house. That guard is high enough and it's moving in there enough. With a softer hit, you could probably get a little bit across the face of that top red and remove the back one as well. They're trying to get this one curl over and try to get it the other way. That little extra weight and not going to get the movement. And that just sailed right by. And Nova Scotia can really make them pay here with a double guard on 2 and 1 in the top and back 4 foot. So I'm just going to run across some of the scores that we have the rest of the games going on here on sheet A. On our 7th draw here, we have the Northern Ontario and Nunavut men's, and it is Northern Ontario getting 2 in the first and stealing 2 in the second with a 4-0 lead. Our game on sheet B, we have BC and Saskatchewan, and there's a lot of rocks in play this end, but so far no score in the first 2 ends. And we have Saskatchewan having the hammer there. On sheet C, Ontario and Quebec men's, and we have a 1-1 match there with Quebec having the hammer.
And then
on the other side of the walls, we have
the Yukon men playing the Manitoba men, Miller versus Neufeld, and it's Manitoba is taking a commanding 4-0 lead after 2 ends. Yukon and Alberta ladies. The Alberta ladies are winning that game 2-1.
Feel like this is
The next sheet, Manitoba ladies playing Quebec, and Quebec is winning 3-1. And on the final sheet H, Northwest Territories, Cormier is playing Bradley, PEI, and Cormier took one in the first, stole one in the second, and so she's up 2-0 in that game. I've heard that sheet H might be a little bit tricky of a sheet to play on.
Okay, so we can't see that from our vantage point up here. And we are going to be bringing you a little shot of the standings as they are right now. So if you want to go through the ladies pool there, Penny.
The Nova Scotia, Teresa Breen, who's playing right now. She's on top, 4-0, followed by New Brunswick and Saskatchewan, and Quebec.
Carrie, that works. Nice.
That all have 2 wins. Oh, we lost it. So it's a tight race.
No, I think it's Alberta with 3 wins.
This is the next sheet.
Teams.
This was they pulled off the other one.
Okay.
Okay, so in Pool B standings, Ontario, Joanne Rizzo is 4-0. Alberta and BC. Alberta's in second place at 3-0. And BC, then it goes from there. So BC is 1-2. Northwest Territories 1-2. Yukon's 1-1. And it goes down from there. So it's a tight, the 2 teams at the top, or 3 teams that have no losses, are Teresa Breen, Nova Scotia in her pool, Alberta, and Joanne Rizzo from Ontario in the other pool.
Right, and as we mentioned, you will play the full round robin. You'll play everybody in those pools, and the top 4 will be moving on.
Pretty much the same.
So just we'll get to the men's one here in a bit. So just a quick note back to our game here. We do have a rock buried in behind us, a pair of staggered guards up top, so none of them really able to be promoted. And we have Nova Scotia coming around those guards again.
Same weight.
Okay.
So still advantage Nova Scotia here.
They ideally would want to be in front of the tee line here.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, and buried around those 2 if they can get it right to the center line.
Line's good.
Top 4.
They're liking the line. They're calling the weight as top 4. This is looking really good coming in here. They're giving it a good scrub. Very nice shot.
Real nice, Carrie.
It's a great shot.
Very good. Northern Ontario's scoring area is shrinking down here. She's going to try to hook one around, right around that one that was just thrown. So somewhere in the top. Doesn't need to get right down to the back, but just wants to bury it around this stone here a little.
Northern Ontario does have the hammer here, so she could play to maybe spill off those front guards and try and open up the middle.
Yes, this is a very difficult shot coming here. You're right. You could open up the front, maybe roll a couple of those yellow stones on the rings, but they've elected to try to come around with this freeze. If she makes this, she can get herself out of some trouble. It's coming in here really nice. Just scrapes it by the top one. She is shot stone.
Not a bad result. It's a little bit deep, and it does give Nova Scotia to play the same shot and come down there. And
Hey, what'd you give Carrie?
if she does sit there, they'll have a shot to
Same ice.
possibly be on top of it and be shot rock anyways.
Yeah.
Not sure she wants to stay right there. She might want to roll out a little bit.
Yeah, that was a tough shot. There wasn't a lot of room for air there. She did just squeak by that top one. Touching that top one would have been danger, but she was able to get by. Sid shot rock. We're into the skip rocks here in the third end. Nova Scotia leading 2-1 and trying to put a little bit more pressure on Northern Ontario. If she can get this one on top of that yellow one, the deuce for Northern Ontario will be almost impossible here, but let's see how Teresa does with this one.
Line's good. All weight.
Yep, gotta go line.
Yes,
Gotta go line. Hard
Hey,
line.
weight's coming down.
Guys, you got a really good
Hard line.
Not sure the sweepers
Hard,
can get this
guys,
one there. They're
hard
trying.
line.
Rub off the red. Just a little. That's great sweeping, you guys.
Okay, the weight was really good on that one. It just touched that top one. They were looking to get around it, but a little bit of a dangerous one here for Lori. She doesn't want to remove her back one on this. So they elected to just guard this up?
I think they are guarding it.
Okay.
It's not a bad call.
A bad call. We'll
Can't
see.
get you in too much trouble, maybe.
Hey, we'll do a high guard. We're still sitting.
Again, that yellow rock is at the back of the house.
Yeah, very dangerous. You know, she's going to try to take away.
Or at the back of the forefoot.
Yeah, she's going to try to take away this red raise.
No, yeah.
But there's still one.
In front of that red, because it's just an easy bump for her. So.
I think Nova Scotia might try to bump one from the other side. We'll see. We'll see where this one ends up and if she can fully cover this red. Taking ice way out here at the edge of the 12-foot. Nobody's been out this wide in this game yet.
We're in.
So early indication from the sweepers is that she's
a little
in the
heavy.
House, in the house. So doesn't want to leave anything lined up here. They still got to stay with this.
It's dying now, though. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Get a little bit off the guard. Yep, yep. Come on. Oh, that came back sideways. Sorry.
So they kind of lost that one a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And that does give the opportunity for Mary Sue to come down there and just tap up that red rock onto the yellow, and she'll be sitting very, very good. Covering up the forefoot, there won't be much opportunity to come around anywhere.
Yeah, she can tap this in for shot, just sit one, or if she can make it really good and tap the yellow, red first onto the yellow and one more foot, she could be sitting or kind of guarded with hers on the edge of the forefoot here.
If she taps it really good, she could be sitting 5. Right?
Tap it right out.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to be throwing that kind of weight. I look for her to have maybe a little sweeping tap weight here.
Back 4 weight.
Yeah, although as we did see from Lori, you get a little wider out here. The ice is running straighter and faster for the first bit.
Needs to curl. Yep.
The curl is it from the pretty much from the hog line in.
Yeah. She's trying to carve this one over. She's getting some good finish. So
got good weight.
yeah, don't know that she's going to move the yellow, but she does tap it right on top of the Everest mountain. And sitting one buried.
One for sure. Looks
With
like
a lot of higher risk to give up more than that. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe Lori just throws this one away, because there might be more bad than good that can come out of this one.
That's right, Dan.
Let's just come here to be on the safe side. See if we can do it. Okay. Let's get your weight in. Okay.
So last rock here in the third end. She's maybe just playing this one just to try to keep her draw weight.
Okay,
Not sure I would even try to get anywhere near that.
So we're going to try and
I'm not sure it's going to really cut in that much. So there's no way.
Yeah, she's not going to be able to move that red out of there unless it moves like her last one, but she's giving it a try.
Anything she's getting her weight down for this side of the ice way out here. We did see if you threw a little bit more weight on this side, it might stay a little bit straight. So
yeah, and on her last one, you did see the sweepers get a little bit full. You know, they were calling lots of weight early, and then it cut across, and it actually came up short. So
Back 8. Back 12. Back 12. I think we're through. Yeah.
yeah, so playing this one pretty safe. Not really anything she could have done. Throw through, and we're going to have a steal of 1, I believe, for Nova Scotia. I'm not sure. Maybe they're going to measure this one, but from our vantage point, looks like 1.
must be closer than we think.
I'll get someone else. Jane, you want to look? This is 1
And I'll get the red out of the way.
One red one for sure.
I'm not the best at this.
And they're bringing in the optometrist.
Right.
Somebody that has really good eyes.
Measure it. We'll measure it.
Some teams will have somebody that they rely on to say, yeah, no, it's
That
this.
knows.
And somebody that's won more bets, I'm going to guess.
And if they're not sure, if it's close, measure it.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're electing to do.
Closer than I thought.
They've called the official.
I do think it's
You
yellow.
think it's them? Yeah.
Everybody has a feeling it's yellow, but nobody's convinced 100%. So we'll get you that 100%.
Okay, so Dan, your question on who is the only female at this event that has won the event before is Mary Sue Bradford.
Well, there you go.
And she curled with Colleen Jones. I think we had this conversation. She curled with Colleen Jones, and they went to the Worlds in 2017. Colleen Jones, Nancy Delahunt, Kim Kelly, and Mary Sue.
Right.
Why
so,
wasn't Marianne there? She was too young.
So yes, if you've been tuning in for all of our draws, you would have heard that earlier. Now you've heard it again.
Right.
And so Mary Sue trying to become the only two-time champion here on the ladies' side. On the men's side, we have a lot of returning champions.
They're trying to follow you. Dan is two-time world champion at the Canadian Seniors.
Yeah, it's something they're all trying to get to. Once you get there, it's a lot of fun, and it can be very rewarding. Wearing that maple leaf and bringing home the gold.
The championship is in Fredericton, like we mentioned before. Your two trips were Switzerland and Sweden, I believe. Those are great trips to get.
Östersund and Geneva.
It's very nice.
Very, very nice. If anybody hasn't been over there, I recommend going there.
I think you mentioned Geneva was your favorite place
that
you've ever been to.
I've been over there about 6 or 7 times. Yeah, Geneva was, I like the setup, and it was beautiful. Had great weather. That probably made a bit of a difference too. But all right, so we just saw the umpire.
Oh.
She pushed away the red rock first, which would normally mean that Northern Ontario yellow did outcount that one. So it should be just a steal of one. And I think that'll give us a 3-1 lead for Nova Scotia over Northern Ontario. We will confirm that when we do come back. We'll see you in a little bit.
I love that curling is a team sport, that we're able to travel the world with friends and family and experience the journey with fans as well. The sport demands so much, whether it's fine motor skills or both physically and mentally taxing. And it's just a fun social sport that you're able to kind of make an extended family all over the world.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
And welcome back once again to the Everest Senior Curling Championships here in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature matchup has Nova Scotia and Northern Ontario ladies. And it was one for Nova Scotia, a steal of one in that third end. Now with a 3-1 lead. We do have one rock of Nova Scotia's on the top 4 foot, and the guard of Northern Ontario's off the side. Nova Scotia lead.
Top 12.
Mary Sue playing lead, calling the game, throwing up another tight guard is what the call is.
Yeah, tight guard, but it looks like it might be coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14
which isn't a bad shot.
Wow.
No, they are
She's
up a couple.
3-1.
And
Well, it's the user error, I'm sure.
yeah, and you know what? You're going to see that you can make a pretty easy double probably on those, but trying to generate a deuce, Lori's elected to come around the corner, make sure that she can keep some of the rocks in play, and see if she can get some more offense going in this end.
Lots of room. Get it in.
Okay, so we do have the men's standings up here for you. On the Pool A side of the men's, the undefeated team on this pool is Saskatchewan right now at 3-0, and British Columbia at 2-0, as they've only played a couple of games. We have Nova Scotia and Newfoundland Labrador with a couple of wins, Manitoba and Yukon with a win each, and the Territory still looking for their first win. And on our men's B side pool, we have Alberta undefeated at 3-0. And we have 3 teams with a couple of wins in this one, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Ontario, followed by Quebec and Northern Ontario with a win each, and Nunavut looking for their first win as well. So they will continue to play the round robin until they've played everybody in their pool once, and then the top 4 will move to the championship. You can get all that information on curling.ca/scoreboard, and you can follow along live streaming on sheet 2 and 3 as well on TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada. And back to our feature game here. Penny, what's happening?
Well, there's a lot of red rocks in the house again. They're stacking them up in the middle, putting some pressure on Northern Ontario again. Forced to play a hit here. But if she hits this right, she could get a nice hit and roll. She does have a guard there.
She could get the double and roll here, and she just missed the double. Rolled a little bit wide. They were trying to remove all those rocks as opposed to maybe tap some to the back. Still early enough in the game that maybe don't need to get full press aggressive here.
And I like the positioning that Nova Scotia has done on those rocks. They were all above the tee line, staggered a bit, a little bit harder to maneuver.
And that's why Northern Ontario, you tap them back, and if they do pick you out, then you have theirs to freeze to. So Mary Sue Radford just wanting to hit and stick around here again.
Rolling, call the roll, Jane.
So I did notice from your standings that Saskatchewan and BC men both have no losses. Saskatchewan was, I believe you said 3-0, and BC is 2-0, and they're out there on sheet 2 right now, which is being streamed. And so that's a big game for both of them. And I just noticed that Saskatchewan took a 4-ender on BC in the third end, so it's 4-0.
Yeah,
but it's early.
And BC's only played a couple games, and Saskatchewan has played, was it 4?
Three or four
already.
Yeah.
So yeah, you will see some uneven number in the games, but eventually they will all get caught up and they will have played the same amount of games. On our feature sheet.
And a nice roll.
Yeah, using the rock in the house as a guard. It is a pretty tight guard, so Mary Sue wanting the straight run back.
Okay, 10-5.
And right now Northern Ontario are looking for anything to run behind and hide.
10-5, yeah.
10-5. Well, that was a good run behind.
Yeah, that corner guard for Northern Ontario is up there pretty high. Nova Scotia did hit and roll a little bit under it.
Thank you.
And it could be used as a catcher for Northern Ontario. We'll see if that comes into play. So straight back here.
Yep.
Whoa, nice control weight.
Sorry.
10-5.
Whoa. Yep.
Yep. Hard, Jane. Push it out.
Carrie Denny with the run back attempt. They're trying to hold this enough to get the back one. They do get some contact and spinning quite a bit. Mary Sue giving it a good sweep. Taking it back for third shot. 2 Nova Scotia rocks are still 1 and 2
they're
partially
kind
buried
of-
behind that corner.
That's
so
right. Third's first stone for Northern Ontario.
So Lori Hoppy's utilizing that guard that she has and the 2 rocks in there. She's trying to just come in and put one in a spot where Nova Scotia's going to have a tough time removing it.
Back 8.
Line's good.
Back 8, back 12.
On its own.
The sweepers are indicating this one's coming into the back of the house, so
Need
A little bit deep.
yeah,
Needs some help.
maybe getting a little rub to keep it in the rings. Nope, didn't get the rub, and sometimes going out to the wings like that, the speed
Okay, gotcha.
speed is a little bit better.
10-5.
Okay.
So Mary Sue Radford is just hitting the 3rd shot rock in the back of the rings. She doesn't need to stick around with anything in here.
Whoa.
Yep.
And that'll give the opportunity to Northern Ontario
Stop.
Just clean.
Stop.
We're
to
not on
replay
it.
their shot, maybe make it a little bit better. Not go through the house, right?
Yeah, they get the hit and roll out there.
And that's a fine shot.
Nothing in the back of the rings.
Nothing to draw to.
Nope, this is they call just drawing blind here. No backing. Trying to get something around the yellow and partially around those reds. She does have the whole 4-foot open with the intern draw on her last one as a kind of a bailout to get her one.
Same. Better weight. Better weight.
Line's good. Lots of room.
Shannon Brown with her last rock in the 4th end,
Still coming back.
She's okay.
waiting for it to make the big move.
This looks a little bit better than her first shot. I'm not sure that it's going to
Yep.
be tucked
Yep,
in there,
this one's
though.
going to stop in there for shot, but it's going to be probably close.
Pretty
to,
wide open.
yeah, you can see most of that rock.
What's it do here on hip?
Oh, it's pretty. It's like this is the ice. It's just nice.
A 10?
It's pretty.
You can no.
I like that.
10-5, But Teresa, where do you want your shooter
Well,
to go?
I know. That's a question.
If you roll here, that's not
She's
bad.
freezing to whatever
Yeah,
we do,
let's- yeah,
right?
let's
Yeah,
roll.
I
Okay,
think we
yeah.
roll away.
Okay.
I like the roll away
So you
here.
want 10 or 10-5?
Don't give her a nice little pocket to freeze up into.
And they did just throw it in there a couple times already. So, you know, you did hear Mary Sue, you know, Teresa's ready to go back down, and she's just like,
try and roll
let's
away.
make sure we know exactly want to try to roll with this rock. So, wanting to be a little bit more precise, and let's just hit this yellow stone. So they've opted to hit and roll away and maybe change the shot for Northern Ontario.
10-5.
Just clean.
They're very comfortable with this. They like the way it just comes up nice and gradual
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Hard.
You want to roll it, Carrie? Okay. Roll
Hard.
Roll it. Good sweeping, Jane.
Great shot.
Yep.
Teresa Breen has a lot of experience. She threw a long time for Anne Merklinger in Ontario. She's been to 4 Scotties Tournament of Hearts. The last one was in the year 2000. She curled with my former skipper, Marianne Arsenal, for a year. And then after that, I think she decided to skip her own team. Yeah, she's got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge of the game at a high level, as do all of this team.
Yeah, I think there's a little more experience on the Nova Scotia team here.
Two deep breaths.
Nova Scotia's always been a little bit of a hotbed for curling in the Maritimes,
Andrea speaking now.
especially for
Especially-
ladies, right?
Yeah.
I think Teresa even played for Paul Fleming when they won in 2011. They won the
Mixed
Nova Scotia mixed.
and ladies. And not so bad on the men's side either. And we've got
Right.
one of their best men's guys out here in this senior field, in Paul Fleming.
Last
winning.
year's champion.
And Will. Bringing home the gold for Canada. So really working this one over. Trying to get some roll underneath here. This looks really good.
Nice shot.
Oh, beautiful shot.
That's a great shot.
Good shot, Laura.
That's almost as good as she could do with that one.
You know, you don't have to move it back far. Do you just want to play that, or do you want to remove it? Can you see any of it?
Just a sliver, not
Okay.
much.
Well, there's two options here. She could freeze down to it, and if she's a little bit heavy, then she would back it, send it back a bit, and be probably lying 3. But you know, the freeze isn't a bad shot, because the worst thing that you can do here is just chip it a little bit and go into the open.
Right.
And saying that, they're up 3-1. I like the freeze in Teresa's. It looks like she's calling the freeze.
Yeah, and I don't think it's the high guard that's going to be the issue on this one. It should be coming in there pretty hard. They're going to have to work the weight and line around the 2 red ones. And I think you'll see as the rock comes down, they'll have good communication, and they'll try to let them know whether they're going to be playing the freeze or the tap. And Mary Sue's going to have to put all that information in her memory bank and let them know
Almost tempted to go after it.
if they really wanted to play the tap for the 3 or just the freeze in there.
I like going after it.
It's so tempting when you get down into the hack and you look down the ice and you can see a piece of it and you go, you know what, I can get that rock.
And that's what Teresa feels. She's like, okay, you know what? Let's make a play on that one. And as I mentioned, that yellow guard with the way it curls, you know, you can almost take that one out of play because it's going to be the red ones that are going to be the bigger issue.
It looks pretty tough to me.
It's a long yellow guard, but those red ones are great.
It's whatever the skip is feeling at this point. Do they feel like they want to freeze down to it, or do you want to play that little bit extra?
Tell me when to stop.
It does move here, so they don't have to worry about the curl in the ice.
Yeah, I think if you just get by that high yellow one and you're a little soft and quiet, you can get across the face of even those red ones with the amount of good curl that we have here on this Curl Moncton ice.
I'd feel pretty confident if I had Teresa Breen get up out of the hack and say, I want to throw that rock. Okay, skipper.
Yeah, and you know, maybe on some ice surfaces, you may not have as good of conditions as we have here. The ice crew have done a great job. They did have an event prior to the U21 mixed doubles.
Make it curl. Whoa, sorry.
Okay, this is really close. The sweeper's got to stay close.
Yep.
It's going to start to move on him.
It's a long guard.
Whoa.
A little bit of finish.
Great shot.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's a good shot.
Yep.
It forces Northern Ontario, I believe they only have a draw for 1 here.
Yeah, they moved it far enough to still stay shot, but not 2. So probably would have wanted to get a little bit more of it, but it's doing the job. It's going to give a force of 1, and she's going to need a piece of the 4-foot here or better for her 1.
Okay, bye to the 4.
Okay.
For their shot.
Are we second?
We are 3rd.
Oh, 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think she's second.
Then I think she is second.
2 deep breaths.
She probably just knew that she had to draw the button either way, so it doesn't matter.
Her focus was put this in the 4-foot. So last rock here for Lori Hoppe. Looking for a piece of the 4-foot.
I think we're back.
The sweepers are indicating that this has got a little bit of weight.
No, it's coming down now.
And these sweepers are very experienced, and they haven't touched the ice.
Yeah, and they did know that it would come down in the middle, but will it come down enough?
It's pretty
It's gonna
good.
go right over the Everest. Mary Sue's going to try to get it out of the 4-foot. And it comes down and stops in the back of the 4-foot.
That's good
For
enough.
a single for Northern Ontario. They still trail Nova Scotia 3-2, and we'll be back after a little bigger break with 5th end action.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms, made our way, enjoyed your way.
Being a Canadian who is now in the U.S., do you think we need to get a bit of a rivalry going, or some sort of series that can pit maybe some top curlers in Canada against the top U.S. and kind of get a little bit more hype from a marketing standpoint between the two countries?
Yeah, well, first, as the CEO of USA Curling, I'll say I'm an American who grew up in Canada, so as much as I love Canada. But actually, there's lots of good things happening with the game in the United States. We just had the Everest North American Curling Championship, sponsored by Everest, which was our club champions against Canada's club champions, featured on CBS Sports. So really, curlers who are good but play recreationally versus tour level. So that was Canada versus the U.S. I'd love to see that continue. I know Nick Sulsky at the Curling Group, new owners of the Grand Slam, they are very intent on growing the game in the United States, and we want to be active supporters and participants in their efforts. So yeah, I think this is still a huge growth potential down here. I think if we can, as I said earlier, if we can get the facilities built, get people a little more access to the game, the momentum's going to continue. We have good momentum, but we just have to keep working at it. I think some big events here in this country will do well. Certainly have to market them maybe a little differently than you have to like a Briar or a Scotties, but there is a market for it. Obviously, a TV deal down here would make a huge difference. We're excited to be on NBC with our trials, but we'd love to have more on television. But if you know anything about the sports media landscape right now, that takes dollars, and we need to find those dollars.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships. Dan Holowaychuk here with Penny Shantz, and we're giving you live action updates on the Nova Scotia Northern Ontario ladies matchup. After 4 ends, we have Nova Scotia up 3-2 with the hammer. I'm going to go across the board here and give you some other updates on sheet A in our men's matchup.
and I didn't even have any sugar.
We have Northern Ontario and none of it, and we have an 8-2 lead for Northern Ontario on that one. On sheet B, we have British Columbia and Saskatchewan men's. We have Saskatchewan men's up 5-0 in that one. On sheet C, we have a tighter match with Ontario and Quebec men's, and Ontario has a 3-2 lead in that one. And on the other side of the building, Penny?
Right, we have the Yukon playing Manitoba men, and Manitoba is up 6-1 in that game. Yukon women playing Alberta, Tina Ford Johnson, and Atina's got good control in that game at 7-1. The next sheet, Manitoba is playing the Quebec women, and the Quebec ladies are winning 7-1 in that game. And the final game over there on the other side is Northwest Territories ladies playing PEI, and it's a tight game. It scores 3-2 for Northwest Territories.
After 4 ends of play over there, yes. Our feature matchup is Nova Scotia leading 3-2 with the hammer.
Bring it to center.
Northern Ontario with the first rock in the house in the back 8, putting up a center guard on it, trying to hold the line, but it does go off of the line out of the tick zone. Or is it a tick zone or just a
center line? Can't touch it.
Tick. I don't know.
A free tick.
The free guard zone, biting the center line, no tick.
Right. So Dan, they are playing on 10 sheets of ice here, 5 on this side and 5 on the other side.
Top 4.
They're separated by a wall, and they only use this 5 sheets as curling ice, the ones that we're televising. And on the other side, it's normally a pickleball court. They've changed it to a pickleball, I guess, after COVID. Is that correct?
Yeah. So there was 3 clubs in Moncton here.
The Beausejour, the Beaver,
and the MCA, and they combined all 3 together to make Curl Moncton. 10 sheets available, so they can host some of these big events. We're utilizing 8 of the sheets. We have our camera crews on one of the extra sheets on each of the other each building. So yes, this is kind of the home curling rink, and after this event, they'll be going back and putting the pickleball back in. All the pickleball members that were here prior to that were offered memberships around other places in town, so they could make room for the curling to come in. The mixed, was it U21 mixed doubles that they just had here last week?
Right, the
and
final qualifier for U21.
Right.
Moncton has hosted a lot of events. One sticks in my memory pretty good. Actually, I was here for a couple of them, and that was the 1985 Brier. I was married to Pat Ryan, and of course, he lost the final here to Al Hackner. I was here for it. It was a great event, except for maybe the last end or last shot. But the 10th end, Al Hackner made the famous shot in curling, which still to this day might be the best shot ever. And they went an extra end. And that was a little, I think it was a little bit, well, it didn't curl up maybe. I think it was in the 4-foot. But he didn't quite get shot rock. So they lost the final of that game, and Al Hackner went on to the World Championships. They did come back after that and won a few years later in 1988 with Randy Furby, who is our great sponsor of this event and has hired me and you.
Yeah, and you know what? Big shout out to Mark Duffy and Randy Furby and the Everest group. This is their 10th year sponsoring this senior event. They've also added the club event, and just last year was the first North American Club Challenge. So, you know, expanding their horizons in the curling world, and they do a really nice job for all the curlers, and I believe that is one of the reasons that everybody is trying to get back here so hard, because if you've been to this once, you're going to want to keep coming to it. And we definitely appreciate everything that Mark and Randy have done through Everest, and hopefully they can continue with that for us, and we look forward to having a good rest of the event here. Mark will be coming in,
I believe on Thursday. Really looking forward to seeing Mark, as all the curlers here are looking forward to seeing Mark Duffy again. If you know him, you want to see him again. And Randy, in the meantime, is hosting everyone and doing an amazing job because he's a curler himself. He's not curling now, but apparently he might be coming back at some point.
That was the big scoop that we just got. He's in line for a knee operation, bad need of one. He's been putting it off, trying to find some time to get that done, and he did say that if it comes up good, you might see him back out on the ice again. So,
well, he could switch to the stick because it's pretty popular in Canada too, and you know Edmonton's hosting the big stick event this year, so that would be something to look at.
Yeah, there is, I believe, even a $10,000 stick bonds bill coming up somewhere.
That's in Edmonton.
I know our club in St. Albert, I believe Randy Olson has developed a lot of that stick league, and we have hundreds of members in there, and it's I believe it is the fastest growing part of our sport. You know, CCA is doing a great job with the youth part of it, and you know we have U18, U21, U25,
U16.
There's college, so lots of opportunity for young people to get into the game. And it looks like we better get back to our game because there's
got a lot of
rocks in the back corner. This is the first.
Or throw a guard.
So after that fourth end break, they must have had a meeting and said, we're going to go after it.
And we didn't really have that discussion on what maybe the discussion was with each team during the fourth end break, but from the looks of the house, they talk, let's get lots of rocks and play and see what happens.
You know, and I like this from Northern Ontario. They're down without hammer, 4 ends left in the game. You know, they've got a lot of yellow rocks on top of the red ones here. It's just a matter of how they can move them around, and
yeah, keep it out there, Jane.
And they're not playing with fear of being, you know, sitting 2 red Nova Scotia stones right now, or 3. So Mary Sue just trying to make some of the angle taps and raises and maybe even closing up some of the holes, making some tough shots for Northern Ontario.
So Carrie Denny just threw that. She's a third on Nova Scotia, and she doesn't have any senior experience, but she does have some club. She's been to 3 nationals at the club championships, 2012, 2013, and 2014.
Yeah, and you will see a lot of familiar faces out here in club. I believe you're only allowed 1 competitive player on your team in club. And,
that has played in the last 3 years.
Yes, so some people are able to play in both. And are you one of them, Penny?
I played 1 year in 2021. I went to Ottawa to the Hunt Club. It was an amazing event, sponsored by Everest, of course. And then from there, went straight to Sault Ste. Marie to the senior event. It was a great year.
Nice. A double Everest.
It was double Everest.
Okay, so we have Northern Ontario coming through the hole here. Shannon Brown with her second rock, trying to navigate the port.
Hard, get by.
She's getting tight to the guard. Well, she opened it up, but she did send the Randwood in there and open up both sides. And that red one is kind of a catcher. I think a nose hit on this yellow one might get rid of a couple of reds out here. So Mary Sue just throwing up the guard. She likes the way everything is set up in the house right now. She doesn't need to move anything.
Nova Scotia also just won the club championships at the most recent club championships that were held in Winnipeg? No, Barrie.
Barrie,
Barrie.
yeah. And is that not where Stu Brown, our host, is from?
Yes.
He didn't have to go far for that one.
No, he didn't.
Did he have any pull on having that event there? Felt like he has enough miles this year.
Yeah. Sure.
So that guard for Nova Scotia didn't really come up enough and do anything for them.
I'm pretty sure the one on the fourth.
We're going to listen in on the girls here.
Do I make it work?
What do we leave them for a shot? wants to nose that yellow, eh?
Dan, is that yellow rock? Where do you have to hit it? You might get at least, you might come back and get the double on that.
If you draw the line between these two, if you hit it on the nose, it's going to tend to come this way a hair more. So to make it line up exactly where you want, you will need to hit this a little bit on the outside, pushing this one a little out that way, if that makes.
Did you get all three?
Yeah, because this one's, the yellow's going to come off this into that outside one. They're looking to get this one and out that way. And if you're really good at it, you miss your back yellow.
Really hit the top and see if we can move things around.
Yeah, control like that. I think you can hit that yellow anywhere, can you?
Yeah, sit at 10, and if anything, maybe it'll set something.
Yeah, there
up
is
for
a magic spot on rocks too, right? If they're tight enough that it doesn't matter where you hit it, it's gonna.
The tighter they are together, the more drag you will get out of them. And at one point, then you don't get any drag.
Right.
Also, how hard you throw this. So you did hear the front end say, just control, and she's like, nope, this one's going to be coming.
I think
so,
Jerry Richard, good curler, back in the day, well, he's still curling. Jerry would call that the magic.
The magic?
Where the magic happens.
Okay. Looking for a lot of ground to be flying around here. We'll see how she hits this one and gets the drag effect. Gets the back one, but it does jam.
Not a bad shot.
No, the three yellows are left in a very nice lineup.
They're all lined up.
And
red is still sitting too.
Red sitting too, but anything on that top yellow is going to send one of them to that back red shot, and there is going to be a lot of guards because some of those yellows are going to be left there as well. So, although Mary Sue does have the hammer and sitting too, she's going to be, I believe, guarding yellow.
I think she has to guard the yellow here.
Yeah, and to put a full guard on the yellow, it will leave that very back one exposed, but a nose hit on that back one will not give shot rock to Northern Ontario. So she may try to just guard both here if she can.
Yeah. Just in that line.
We see the two other players have gone down the ice, and if anything, they didn't call a timeout, but I think they were going to look and just at the position of the rocks as well, so that they know when they're sweeping it what they're looking at.
Yeah, and if they communicate this really well, the last couple feet is when the rock will be curling the most. So we'll see if they're going to be trying to carve it or hold it straight, and trying to put this rock in a spot where it can guard a little bit of both, anywhere in this kind of line, so you can take away the triple yellow rays and maybe close up the hole a bit so you can't get in and get the back red.
Big shot here.
Yeah, looks like kind of draw to the button ice. We have seen these rocks straighten up a little bit later in the game here, so first priority would be to guard those yellows. You do not want this one to overcurl and leave her a shot at the yellows.
A 2 would be on the Everest on the ice, so that would be about
they got
the
to
right
keep dragging this one.
Make it curl.
Keep going, Jane, keep going.
Every little bit's getting it over that line.
Okay.
Geez, it just didn't, well, it might be good enough. Didn't quite come up.
I think they can see about a half of that yellow, and because they are so close together, they're just going to end up going straight back into the lineup of that back red one. She doesn't need to hit this really hard, but she does need to move 4 rocks. So every time you have one in there, you got to throw a little bit harder to try to move them out.
The shot is definitely there.
Yeah, it looks like that. If you can get some good contact on that top yellow, you're just going to be going straight back into the shot stone, and then there's going to be a lot of cover there. So that guard, while it did provide some protection, it did leave Laurie an opportunity here to maybe steal a point back.
There's such a fine line when you're throwing out on that out-turn side to get to the center. Once it crosses the 4-foot line, it will go. They had good weight on that rock, and it just didn't quite get fully buried or fully covering.
And it wasn't for lack of trying. They tried to move that over right to the stop line. She's got a lot of weight, but she needs this to move up. Well, she hit that so skinny on the top that it actually ended up pushing the yellow by the red. In for shot rock.
Nose hit will give you 2.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just a nose hit.
Which side do you want to play this? You can play it. Maybe the out turn.
Looks like, really.
You can
I don't know.
I
It looks
think
like you
can
might
throw out
have
a turn
more,
too, so.
more room with the intern.
I think you're just throwing a
Yeah,
about the same.
I want to throw like, yeah.
I think she's got to throw some weight to keep it a little bit straighter.
Either one, actually.
Two ways to get your deuce here.
Yeah, which?
One is to play it tight by this guard, put on the outside and knock it through the hole, or play it onto the nose, have it hit the back one, spin out and count 2 that way. So
I think we've seen more intern hits down this spot than out turns. I like their call on the intern here.
and they did just see that one with the weight. It did run fairly straight.
Right.
But there was a little bit of curl at the end, which allowed Lori to chip that top one and get all 3 yellows moving. She had a lot of weight. She didn't hit much of that top one, and it pushed the yellow one into a pretty good spot over top of that back one to maybe
10.
eliminate a 3.
No.
Needs to curl.
This is hanging on the outside guard.
Curl.
Gotta curl.
It's gonna be tight to the guard. Now let's see what happens with the yellows. Nope. So just hung it out a little bit, and it ran on her. Wicks the guard and doesn't get to that back one. So Northern Ontario gets a steal of 1 there, and we now have ourselves a 3-3 game. And we'll be right back with the 6-10 action.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Your team obviously dominated, as we mentioned, for several years, but aside from just being good curlers, what do you think was the key to all that success?
Everybody knew their role. Everybody trusted everybody. Everybody was willing to learn. There was no egos on the team. Everybody had a 25% stake in the team. It wasn't the skip got more or did more. Everybody was a valued member of the team, and they knew it.
And welcome back once again to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature matchup is all squared up at 3 apiece. We have the Nova Scotia and Northern Ontario ladies, and we did just have a steal of 1 for Northern Ontario. A little bit of stealing happening later on here. We have 3 ends left in this match. We have a center guard and 1 in the top 8-foot for Nova Scotia that has the hammer here.
And so they're in an opportunity. This one's taken off on them a little bit. Tracy's handle, she might just need a little bit more rotation on it, right?
Yeah, and I think it's going to work out okay for her. Just rubbed off it a little bit.
It's okay.
Top 4.
So 3 ends left to go. Nova Scotia technically having 2 hammers to 1, but with a couple of steals coming in this game, there's no guarantees out here.
Little wobble coming out there.
Yeah,
but she fixed it. That's what your delivery is all about. Especially when you get to this level, you have to know how to fix it.
Yeah, you're not going to have every slide perfect, so it's managing your landing gear.
Yep.
Little bump.
Yep. First it'll go.
Right, just trying to tap that one back.
Just sweeping you guys. Great sweep.
Just tucked a little bit under that center guard, making the the double a little bit tougher and a jam available.
I think though this Nova Scotia team isn't too worried about what happened last end. Their rock, Teresa's rock, did stay a little bit straight. I kind of have a rule on my teams that you have 10 seconds to get over it. So after 10 seconds, throw it away. And if you're still talking about it, I'll tell you. My third, Cindy Curtin, she's told me, okay, your 10 seconds is over. Get over it, right?
Good way to look at it. Yep, you can't change it. It's done. Move on. Work on the next one.
Right up. Right up, right up, right up, right up, right up. Go, 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 go. Good. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So Lori Hoppe is electing to, I guess maybe keep it a little bit cleaner. Now that she's got it tied back up here. Doesn't want to be giving up a big end.
3/4. Do you want to play hack?
Do you like peeling the guard?
If you get the guard, okay?
You don't like the peel?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
I just couldn't know where she heard me.
Okay, Mary Sue she's still trying to be a little bit more aggressive. She does not want that center guard, which is partially guarding her other rock. She can play the hit and roll away on this, wanting to get a multiple score on the even hands and utilize the two hammers versus one strategy.
Yep,
yes, yep, yes,
yep.
This will move here.
Yep, go Carrie, go, go, go.
It's got nice firm weight on it though. This looks like a really good shot. She can squish that red one over a little bit more. Doesn't remove the yellow, but it is back of the 4 foot.
Watch that Jane Curl. She's got a lot of experience. She actually was skip of the USA Club Nationals team out of my other favorite curling club, the Coyotes Curling Club in Arizona. And she's moved back now and picked up in Nova Scotia here. She's originally from Canada.
So do you wear like shorts and Hawaiian shirts when you curl in Phoenix?
I'm actually heading down there for a spiel at the end of April. Again.
Yeah, they have a few bond spiels. They're very popular. Lots of Canadians go to those spiels. I mean, I think there's lots of Canadians down there.
There is, and
this time of year.
I think there's a sign on the door that says something like, "We welcome Canadians." It's kind of fun. Daryl Horseman does an amazing job
really
down
nicely.
there. I think he was the Volunteer of the Year one year.
Nice, and they take Canadian money at par.
Really?
No.
Now everybody's going there.
Not anymore. There was a
anymore.
time. There was a time. I recall even going to a bond spiel with Mark Johnson in Seattle, and that lured some of the Canadians down. It was Canadian money at par.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I don't think that's
and
possible
you know how
anymore.
long ago that was, because it's been a while since our dollar's been up there. Oh, some nice finish on this rock. It came up really good to stay for 2.
Good call.
What's that? Like bang.
Lori Hoppe just electing to trade with the shot rock here.
She's
trying to
still
set
got
something
that.
up for the double, so she doesn't want to make it too easy of a deuce. Got to stay here first and foremost.
And she's still got her center guard up there that she can use.
Shannon Brown just trying to maybe hit and roll. You could even hit and roll under the red one on the left. He's trying to get this one to curl up. It's a little bit firmer than some of the ones they've been throwing, and it's running down this line.
She's got a piece of it.
Yeah, Mary Sue trying to sweep this one right out of the rings. She rolls out, which will give Mary Sue a chance to either to split the house.
Keeps them, you got a good distance. 10.
Okay. You could elect to just draw, split the house. She likes the nose hit, which will do same objective.
Clean.
Good communication as soon as she let go of that rock.
Just clean. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yes. Just to keep it there. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Just a
Nice
nice
throw.
clean.
Good sweep.
Got the house well split, both rocks on top of the tee line. There is still that center guard that could pose a problem here.
She gets a nice hit and roll inside here.
Yeah.
Rolls to the top,
You know,
4 foot.
and she could roll actually all the way across the house, maybe even under that red to maybe make a little tougher shot for Nova Scotia, and maybe even set up or a double for herself if you keep those 2 rocks in line.
So a few options here.
Yeah, I think we've seen these run straight with weight out here, so we'll see if they can get some movement.
Right up. Right up. Hard, 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 hard. Roll it. Keep it a roll.
So very, very little roll. Those 2 rocks are even at the top of the house. Mary Sue will be quite content with a nose hit here.
Just clean.
And with the score all tied up, I don't think that Lori is going to try to bury one around the center line
No,
here.
she's not going to take that chance right now. She doesn't have to, right?
There's still 3 ends. I don't think she's going to gamble the game on this end here right now. She would give up her deuce before I think she'd try to give up a 3-ender and bury one around that center. She will, however, with her first one, definitely try to roll underneath that center guard and hope that if Nova Scotia eliminates theirs, they roll out and maybe put the blank back into play for them.
10.5. I don't want to play around with it.
Okay. And that's a good comment that you heard Lori mention to her sweepers, that she's not going to put the weight down too much here, doesn't want to lose this one and roll out. She wants to make you know, the Nova Scotia team make a play on this rock.
Right. It's like a little bit of weight.
She's got it a little firmer. You know, nose hit or a slight little bit of roll, and just got a little biter here. So we got a little bit of an interesting one, because if they play the hit on that, they will not be on the rings. They'll have to roll.
And I don't think they're even looking at that. I think the chances that they have to draw here.
Yes, because you'd have to make a hit and a long roll to get in the rings, and then you'd be setting up the double. So
Speed still feel the same?
So she's going to come around top 4, and then Northern Ontario is going to have to make the choice.
Right.
Are they going to hit that outside one and give them 2, or are they going to come down and freeze to it, which could technically just give them 2 anyways?
Right. And depending on the location of this one, I don't know that they would try the double. If they're having to hit the open one anyways and this one's buried and it's deep, they might have that opportunity. If this slides behind the tee line, then I think Northern Ontario may just draw down to it and try to force.
Draw down to it.
It is late in the game. We'll see how Teresa does with this draw. Looking for the top 4 and fully buried. Sweepers
called T-line right at the...
Sweepers called T-line early.
Lots of line.
We do know that it comes down closer to the end of the game.
Yeah, that ran down the 4-foot line for a little while.
Keep it going.
Here comes the finish.
It's pretty good.
So first priority is stay on top of the tee line.
That was a 16, you guys. Yeah.
She did get a little cheek of it buried underneath that long center guard.
And now there might be a little double there. No, I guess not. Play it anyways.
It's there. You just have to throw it really hard.
Right.
And that rock has to go a long ways across the house. So you'd need this one pretty thick to get into this one, and it has to move it a long ways over there.
So she might be able to get the inside roll off of the center one too.
Yeah, that is a high guard. So she's just playing a little quieter weight, trying to get a little bit on this side of the nose, roll to the center line here, and make it difficult for Teresa to get it out of there and stay.
Nice control weight on this shot. Don't want to overthrow it.
I think I heard a hack weight originally, but she may have changed her mind. First priority is eliminate the red stone. Should you get it by the guard? This looks a little stronger than hack.
Lisa's sweeping it to make it curl.
So she can also roll underneath that outside
The other way,
red one.
right.
But it's coming up to the nose here. And if Teresa can duplicate that exact same shot you saw,
she'll have a hit for 2.
She'll have her hit for 2. And she has a lot of real estate to roll either way on this one.
2 is a good position.
All right, 10-5.
Up 2 after 6 ends of play is a pretty nice position to be control of the game.
Yeah, there'll be 2 ends left, 2-point lead. So just a nice control weight. So probably her favorite comfort hitting weight.
10-5.
Yep, go. Go, James. Gotta
That's
go.
the weight that she wanted. That's a little tight on her release here.
Hard, James.
Well, it looks pretty good.
Good job by the sweepers to hold that straight. And maybe a little bit of panic out of Teresa there for no need, as they made that shot look pretty simple. Nose hit and a score of 2 for Nova Scotia. In the 6th end, they now lead 5-3 with 2 ends of play left to go. We'll be right back.
From cash spiels to Grand Slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships at the Curl Moncton Club in Moncton, New Brunswick. I'm going to give you some updates before we get back to our feature game. On Sheet A, we have a game that has been completed, and Northern Ontario has taken down the Nunavut in the men's, 10-2 Northern Ontario. Another men's matchup, we had BC Saskatchewan, and we had Saskatchewan win that one 8-1. That is a complete game. And on the sheet right beside us, we have another men's matchup. Ontario, Quebec, 2 big provinces going at it, and we have a 4-4 tie in that one. And I'll let you get over to the other side of the other building there.
Okay, we have Yukon men playing Manitoba men, and they just finished their game. It was a 9-3 win for Manitoba. Yukon women playing Alberta women, and it's 8-1 for Alberta after they haven't updated for a while, but it's last update it was that score. Manitoba women playing Quebec women, and they just updated that, and it's 10-2 for Quebec over Manitoba. And the final game over there is PEI women playing Northwest Territories, and PEI is up 5-4 in that game after 6 ends.
So good close one there. You can also follow along on curling.ca/scoreboard for all of the updates on the scores, and check out the scoreboard for the standings and the last stone draw or draw to the button. Also, we are streaming the game that is left on sheet C, the Ontario-Quebec match. So if you want to go to youtube.com/curling Canada or TSN Plus, you can watch that one there. Or you can join us here live on Sheet D, our feature matchup. Nova Scotia ladies against Northern Ontario. And we did just see Nova Scotia score their deuce on the even end, taking a 5-3 lead. So far this end, we have a lot of rocks really right down the center line in play.
And Nova Scotia has complete control of this end. They're going after them. They've got 2 in the house behind staggered corner guards or center guards. And it looks like they've got a third one coming in here perfect.
Really nicely, yeah. So Nova Scotia really putting the pressure on, and you know, I don't think that Northern Ontario wanted to put their 2 guards up and then have to take them off, but
they're not going to have a shot if they don't get rid of
those Nova
some guards.
Scotia stones are in really good shape in the house.
They cannot let Nova Scotia steal a point. That would be their goal.
Yeah, so Northern Ontario trying to open up the center. Ideally, maybe leaving yourself a corner guard out of all this. And still giving yourself a chance for your deuce. So this one's over curling a little bit. Kissed the other guard, got it off the center line a little bit, but you're going to see Nova Scotia, I think, just put some guards up for the rest of this end because their rocks in the house are in really good shape.
Right now they have a pretty nice Christmas tree, so I'm going to go back to that story a little bit. It was not well, it kind of was Colleen Jones' team that created the Christmas tree, but it actually the 3 players did not have Colleen one weekend, so they got a curler by the name of Rayfuse, Brian Rayfuse from Nova Scotia, and he skipped the girls in a bonspiel, and he was the creator of the Christmas tree. And then Marianne or Colleen's team used that into about 2002. They were the first ones to use that on air, and it kind of got adopted.
Well, there you go. So thank you to some of our viewers for giving us all the updates.
I would have to thank Marianne for that because she messaged me quickly.
Okay. Get it right. Right, there you go. So a little bit of a deep guard for Nova Scotia, giving Northern Ontario a chance to get rid of some of these reds and keep controlling of this yellow rock in play here and maybe be able to utilize that. It's looking a little bit tight again. The sweepers are trying to hold line, at least drive it into the pile somewhere, but this one's over curled on her. So that was a good opportunity for her to jiggle some things around at the top of the house and make her deuce maybe a little bit easier. Now she's probably going to be reeling again to
put another guard up
to keep Nova Scotia from stealing here.
You know, maybe not ideal that you hit the rock on that side to clear off that guard, but there's nothing worse than when you miss it all and air it on the wide side.
Yeah, that was the better half shot.
Right.
Yes.
2.
Line's nice.
So you can hear they're going to leave this one a little bit higher to make this run into the house a little bit tougher, or a straight peel. So
good sweeping, you
line's coming up. They want to piece that center line, and they got it.
Top of the mountain?
Yeah.
Top of the mountain on the Everest.
Decision time here for Northern Ontario. And Lori can come in and tap that one and stay around the 4-foot. And she's electing to do that, and I think because I don't think she knows it, or feels that they can keep getting rid of all the guards. She's got her yellow one up here and that red one, and Teresa will just continue to do that. So they're trying to come in here, bump this one, try to get as close to the nose as they can, maybe make a pocket in the back. She's got to do some curling.
Has to curl.
Yeah, she's
might be a little bit too much weight.
Yeah, definitely wanted to play something that would hold your shooter around. So, good news. They moved one right out of the 4-foot. Bad news is
they have the opportunity to put it right back there.
Yeah, and Mary Sue, they have the center guard. They have another good guard in the top of the 8-foot. So she's trying to just replace that one, keep it on top of the tee line.
Third's last shot.
Tee line.
Carrie Denny.
Okay, it's out here. It's way out here.
Got a curl.
Yeah, we've.
Yeah, tee line.
Is it heavy? Can you?
No, I don't think
it's heavy. Come on, yeah, bring
Oh,
it
it's
back.
the weight comes down as it comes in there.
Get it? Yeah, no, it's gonna sit
They communicated it's going to be behind the tee. We're trying to take it even deeper.
And you know, we've seen that, and it's like it's closer to the end of the game, where it's just a little straighter out there. If you just throw a little more weight, and there's a track.
Yeah, so
It has to cross that 4-foot line before it really takes the snap, the curl in there.
and Shannon Brown, she's got
I was just thinking.
a chance to just come in there, maybe tap, make a pocket.
Yeah, all the way. Don't stop. All the
She
way.
might be a little bit tighter.
Yep.
She's got the backing on this.
Right up. You got it. You got
She's
it.
got to be down here. She wants to get it right into the 4-foot.
Sweepers are holding it pretty good.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You
Yeah.
got it. Stay with it. Okay. Well.
She's even come across the face of the shot
Wow,
rock, and
that really curled.
it's spun off of there. Not sure who stayed for shot, but there's a
I
big
think
pocket
it is.
back there, and
This would be good just to be top.
Teresa is going to have the first chance to get in here.
I think
She doesn't
yellow
need-
is shot, but they're all behind the tee line.
She doesn't need to go all the way to the back of the pocket here. I think you saw them tap just on top of the Everest button, and
Even full 4-foot at the top is a
Pull
great
up the
shot.
Speed here.
Yes.
Okay.
so we'll see if this one runs on the outside of the 4-foot line for quite a while. Very weight sensitive for the break point here.
I don't think I'm heavy.
Line's nice.
Go then. Go line.
Teresa Breen trying to hit the top 4-foot.
Top 8.
Keep going, you guys. Go as far as you can. Bring it as far as you can. Yeah,
Top
keep
12.
going. I know it's light, yeah.
Teresa had good communication as soon as she let go of that rock.
Yeah, she knew she was a little light on it.
Fine, that's okay. It's good sweeping.
Still trying to block some of that
Okay.
that back 4-foot area, which is a big catcher's mitt back there.
So I'm still thinking that you got a 16.5 on that. Rock dropped short. It's still pretty keen out there.
Yeah, and I think it'll stay out there for a while and
Right in.
the weight carries a little better that way.
Right.
Once it starts coming down and in there, you'll lose it, but they don't need to be tight by the guard on this one. And if they think that they are shot, they don't need to go all the way to the back of the pocket here.
No.
Biting the top of the button, even full 4-foot on the top. So in case Teresa tries to play the freeze, she can come around the other way and maybe get her 3. So if she comes in deep on this, we're going to see Teresa try to also come in on top of it.
Keep it out. We are good.
Holding the line out there early. Line looks fine to get around the guard. Now it's just a matter of weight and where it ends up. They're trying to finish this one up. And her softer handle, it's coming in there really nice. Now there's no doubt about who has shot rock.
I don't know if Teresa throws a little more handle on her rock.
I didn't realize.
I don't know if she can follow that. It's good.
Yeah, that was a little softer release. It was out there wider than Teresa's, and it actually came in a little bit more and had enough weight to bump it.
Okay. All right.
But I do think that Teresa and Mary Sue aren't watching how they're throwing the rock. They're more into
They
how
know
their team throws a rock.
They know their own. So trying to get on top of this yellow one and around that top guard of their own.
T-line.
Okay, sweepers indicate
Lots of line.
T-line early
Lots of
and
line.
lots of room.
Close.
Gonna need to curl. Okay, line's getting better. Line's good.
Line's starting to come up pretty good here.
Whoa.
I haven't heard the sweepers communicate
needs to
too much on
curl.
the weight, so
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, don't listen to her. Yeah, don't listen to her. No, we're not. Okay, good. Okay, that's good, Teresa.
Don't listen to her.
okay. That's Mary Sue in the back of the house, and she's taking control of the house back there, wanting information from the sweepers. She does have the better eye being closer to the house there. A good shot by Teresa. Came right in there, tapped the yellow, and stayed for shot.
Well, Mary Sue is calling for line, and the girls are sweeping for weight. So I think they were getting to the point where we're weight.
Though, right?
Like,
I gotta
A
get
little bit, yep.
Sweepers want, that's what they do. Weight is their job. And because Lori got hers to curl pretty good with a tap weight on this, she feels like she can get by the top of that red with enough finish to get it towards the Everest button for her one. So she was really close weight-wise with her first one. Pretty much the same shot.
Can she get shot rock if she's right on top of it? I don't think she can.
I
Right?
think she needs to be a little bit on the inside, and the way they come in from outside, this shot can be made if you get by the top red tight.
Last rock, 7th end, Northern Ontario, skip.
Lori Hoppe and the sweepers are on this one, trying to hold it out there.
I think it might
No.
have overcurled.
No, didn't quite get it running long enough. Weight was close. And it
Maybe a
looks like
little-
a steal of one, big steal of one for Nova Scotia in the 7th end here. They now take a big lead in this game, and
they're up
score
3.
of 6-3. So they will have, I guess Northern Ontario will have the hammer when we get back, and we'll see if they can scrape out a 3. We'll be back.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
Welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships. Dan Hollowaychuk here with Penny Shantz, and our feature game is the Nova Scotia Northern Ontario ladies. We just saw Nova Scotia steal a point in the 7th end to take a commanding 6-3 lead. Tall order for Northern Ontario to try to score 3, and Nova Scotia has already put one right on the Everest button. Northern Ontario throwing some corner guards.
We must have a little bit of a time issue here, although
They
I
have-
see it's not bad.
They have 3 minutes. I think if you were paying attention to the earlier game, I think, what was it? They got about 6 rocks off in about,
that's right.
I don't know, 30 seconds. So you can play quick if you need to. And Nova Scotia, they don't need to play quick, but they don't want any rocks in place. So.
Yeah, they have about 7 minutes left.
They-
So each team is allowed 30 minutes a game.
And a timeout.
And 1 timeout, and then if they do go an extra end, they get another bunch of minutes, like 4 minutes, and then they get another timeout. So most teams save their timeouts for later on in the game, or if they need it, if they do start to run short at the end of the game, they'll call a timeout.
Yeah, you don't want to have to be rushing down the ice and then have a few seconds to throw your rock. You want to get set. You want to get through your routine. So a lot of times you'll see the front end guys in the hack quick and early. You'll see them cleaning the back end guys' rocks, and trying to speed up the play if they need to.
Plus, they're throwing their rocks a lot faster to give the skip and the third an opportunity if they need more time to throw their rocks or discuss shots. They'll have a little bit more time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just another one on top.
I'm going to get
So
you to throw it through.
two good corner guards here for Northern Ontario. And Mary Sue realizing that, there still hasn't been 5 rocks, so she can't take anything off. So she's just going to fire this one through.
They don't need any more points.
Nope.
And they have one sitting right on the button.
Good, nice throw change.
And just because I can see the sheet right beside us, just a quick update just to let you know, Northern Ontario.
No, Ontario?
Sorry, Ontario men were, they scored their 1 in 7. So they now lead 5-4 coming home in the 8th end. Quebec having the hammer and needing a deuce. That game is streaming on TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada.
It looks like they have a few rocks in play over there too.
Yeah.
Yep, for line.
So our featured game, 2 corners and a Nova Scotia rock on the button. Nova Scotia trying to come around one of their corners. Need to keep this in play and around the corner guard. And I think we're going to see Mary Sue start removing the guards. So that rock hangs around in the back 8. Nicely buried around. Room for 2.
She's looking to see how much she can see, but
Okay, well, if you get the front, so throw 9.5, okay?
Okay, so trying to get the one in the back. It's in the house. Getting the top guard works too. And that is the guard that you want to take off because that yellow is deep.
I think
and they would
here
try to
I
put
would
another
just
one.
go for the straight peel on that front guard.
And I think with Mary Sue being a veteran, I think the ice that she gave here, probably giving tight ice, making sure that she makes contact with something.
Whoa, I'm getting got it.
And
she's got it. Very good.
A nice save by Teresa to keep it on our ice surface as the Eastern clubs here don't have the boards in the house, so you will see a lot of skips.
You say that.
Grabbing that.
BC has a lot of clubs that do not have the boards either.
I think it's a coastal thing though.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Wait, we're up there.
Okay, this one looks like it's got a little bit of weight on it, and
yeah, this one looks like it might be just a little bit heavy.
yeah, and you know, Northern Ontario needs rocks in play, and the miss there is short again.
Tolerance is to be short. Put up
Give
another
yourself-
guard even.
Give yourself another guard.
10.
So now with Mary Sue peeling that guard off, this back one being wide open.
Mary Sue is just counting rocks now, trying to keep it as open as she can.
Clean.
But a few to go.
Yeah, running out of time for Northern Ontario. They need to make them all count to win this game, and at least 3 for a tie.
Where do we go? Here? Here?
Go behind.
Okay.
Behind the corner.
Well, if you do the math here, you go around the corner, you make the peel, you have an open hit.
Right.
You make a freeze on the center one. They hit it. Maybe they put it in a spot for you around that corner on top of the red that makes it harder to remove.
So Dan, are you saying that you think you like the freeze here on this shot, the third first shot?
I'm saying you're in a lot of trouble, and I think you need to make a really, really good shot here to, you know, hope for a miss
Get it in.
from Nova Scotia. Now, this one got by that long guard so tight, it might come out and be open on the other side. Hangs on in the rings, but I think it's open.
And it is third shot.
And that's another thing. I mean, if they had made that come around, Nova Scotia would have still been sitting 1-2, and
That's
eventually
right.
they would have had to deal with those. Not a good
3 to
situation
tie.
regardless, so
Looks like it's fully open. They're saying clean.
Yep.
They don't really care if they stick around. They really don't want to stick around.
We want to roll out. Good carry.
Yep, got enough of that one. That is fairly straight out on the wide side. We've seen that a lot.
I'm not even sure if it backs up a little bit over there.
We have seen that. You know.
That far out. Right? They're not using the sheet next to us. They're not using sheet 5. Sometimes that has an effect on the ice. That empty sheet beside you.
Okay, bring it.
Okay, so now they are trying to play a shot on this one. It didn't take a lot of ice for this.
No, and it looks like it's going to overcurl on them.
Yeah.
Bring it here. We got to bring it here. It's not going anywhere else.
Pretty good weight.
Yeah, little tap off of it. Wide open hit for the win here.
Can I wait? 10?
10, yeah.
Control.
Carrie Denny can put this game into the books for Nova Scotia with a removal of the yellow stone.
I think it's Teresa's shot.
10.
Oh, I think you're right. Sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
We are at skip stones. I always used to like to say, well, you got 2 to make 1 here, so.
Make the first.
Yeah.
Make it go away.
I think the sweepers will just put the brooms down, keep it clean, make sure it doesn't grab anything. Straightforward shot right down the middle of the sheet.
Yep, go, Carrie, yep, hard.
Okay, just clean.
Yeah, just a nice, easy clean. This one will come up to it. Remove the yellow stone.
Okay.
And we've got the Yellowstones coming back. The game is over.
That's handshakes.
Yep, Nova Scotia will win this one 6-3. And we will be back for our
6 o'clock game.
6 o'clock draw tonight. We will be having the Nova Scotia Northwest Territories men's. So we'll see you later tonight, 6 o'clock.
Atlantic.
All right, bye for now.